that's on.
No, it's fine. We are live.
How are we doing, guys? Exciting weekend at the Giants Live in Manchester. Some absolutely crazy lifting going on. I've never seen a deadlifting contest like it. Probably the best deadlifting world champions we've ever seen.
Definitely. Even though we didn't get the world record, it was insane. 2.5 points for a 425 kilo deadlift. That's hard, isn't it?
It really was absolutely crazy. Just the whole standard. Every single lifter pulled 400 kilos.
Yeah.
I think every single lifter pulled 425 kilos.
Yeah.
And we had 7 men go 1,000 pounds or more.
Yeah.
Before the contest, I was chatting with Terry Hollins, Eddie Hall, a couple of other guys, Colin Bryce, and we were working out that there'd only been 7 guys ever do over 1,000 pounds in contest before.
And it was doubled last night.
Absolutely crazy standard of lifting. A couple of guys that really impressed. I mean, some of the standout data. Firstly, I've got to say a massive congratulations to Ivan Makarov. That guy proved right now he's the best deadlifter on the planet. I thought Pavlo would beat him. The guy proved me wrong. He came in perfect shape. He pulled 475 brilliantly, and he gave 505 such a good effort. He got it just above his knees. So I've seen people saying he didn't even get it over his knees. He got it slightly above his knees. He tried to hold it. He was just stuck there, but it was an amazing effort by the guy. And just, I mean, we can go on about his performance. Andy Black's performance, stepping in with 2 days' notice, smashes his PB by 25 or 15 kilos. Gav Bilton getting a Welsh record.
Yeah.
You had Adam Bishop doing 1,000 pounds, first time he's ever done that in contest ever.
Yeah.
And it looked like he had a bit more in him as well. Novikov somehow managing to pull 455. We watched him pull 400 and was like, it's looking not so good today. And then
every lift looked the same, didn't it?
But the last one was tough.
He's such a technician, though, isn't he?
He's just a gutsy competitor.
Yeah.
He finds a way when it counts in competition. You might watch his gym lifts and think he's miles away from these guys, and then somehow gets to competition and he does amazing things. Gabe Pena, how good was that guy?
Yeah, he was awesome. Such a nice guy as well.
Absolute, just a gem of a person. Such a nice guy. So happy to be there, and a ferocious competitor.
First time out of North America for him.
I know.
Which is novel for us. It's kind of like George of the Jungle when he finally gets into the big city.
It was 455 kilograms or 453.5 kilograms.
But then you add on the collars, their calibrated collars, it takes it to exactly 1,000 pounds.
Yeah. So those guys all pulled 1,000 pounds. I thought it would be 155, but they decided they would go for the exact 1,000 pound pull rather than the slightly above. No, who else did? I mean, everyone was impressive. I'll quickly say Rauno Heinler was the one guy I really felt for, because Rauno is a 1,000 pound plus puller. Just came in injured. He had a hamstring injury the week before, and he doesn't get much luck in the UK. He's such a great athlete and so capable, but every time he comes to the UK, something bad happens. He tore his hamstring. Then you could really see on his 400, he was being very ginger. He kind of went for it in the 425, pulled it some more. So that made it worse. Then on the farmer's walk, he tore his calluses. It's just one thing after the other for him. So I feel for him. I'd love to see him fresh competing against the top guys when he gets a chance. But it's one of those things in strongman. Sometimes things go your way, sometimes they don't. And we've got to say, awesome performance by Evan Singleton.
Definitely.
Evan is just getting better and better. And I mean, you've got a video going out tomorrow. But
I've done a behind the scenes vlog. Evan's more likable than he appears in competition, and we
really like him. We really like him. He's a good guy.
I like to think we're quite a good judge of character a lot of the time.
I saw Evan a few years ago, and I was mightily impressed, and just the drive that he's got, how much it means to him. You can see that, and he's just getting better and better.
He's a showman, isn't he?
Oh,
he
absolutely.
Thrives off of it, good or bad. We've got a couple of super chats. Look, it's Rongo Keen.
The man. How you doing?
Thanks, Rongo. Thank you both for the amazing content. Yous are amazing, as are you.
We can't wait to see you back in some competitions, my friend. We need to get you over and get this situation sorted. I know. We want to go over to Australia. He wants to get out. None of it's allowed. Right. Thank you very much, though, buddy. It's good to hear from you.
Jamie, thank you, Jamie. I love the performance from the guys, especially Pavlo in the carry and drag. He was there and he fell over 3 times. He might have been the quickest. I felt like he had too much power. He didn't know how to harness it and control it.
You saw him against Bish, and Bish was very focused on his lane. You know, Pavlo went off like a damn rocket. Bish, very methodical, knew exactly what he needed to do and got the win. And that just shows experience. You know, Pavlo's an extremely strong guy. There was a couple of things that went on behind the scenes we might talk about later that was kind of disappointing, if I'm totally honest. I was really disappointed because I expected big things from Pavlo. I was excited to see this guy compete for the first time.
Disappointing, isn't it?
And then, we will go into it, but there's a few things that need sorting, so we don't want to talk about it tonight. But just things that shouldn't ever happen in strongman competitions and the treatment of certain people. So I'm sure you'll all find out about it soon, but we just can't talk about it right now.
Forzal, thank you very much. How come you weren't wearing your kilt at the show? I'm sure Liz says you had the legs split off.
I'm not sure everyone can handle me in a kilt on a daily basis. So special occasions, the kilt.
Yeah,
that's for the Highlands when I go up and do some traditional stone lifting, and then
we bought it especially for our little trip, didn't we?
We plan on going back up to Scotland and maybe Iceland as well for some other stone challenges. So definitely look forward to more of those.
When we first got on the kilt, it was quite funny. We put it on him having never done it, no idea what we're doing, and he poses a picture. He's got it on backwards, doesn't he? He's got his boots at the front, so everyone took great glee in sending you messages on Instagram.
Yes, all the Scottish guys were
telling you what a div you are. Oh dear.
What happened with Payman? It's a shame that Payman couldn't come over. You know, I would have loved to have seen him in this lineup. Unfortunately, traveling from Iran to the UK isn't easy at the best of times. No. It's just a difficult situation. Maybe COVID's a little bit of
a scapegoat as well.
Possibly, but I mean, you know, he deserves a shot. There's no question about that. Hopefully, he will get an opportunity, perhaps at maybe one of the worst competitions, you know, that happen in Dubai, which is a bit easier for him to get to. That'd be really cool if they could maybe make an exception and allow him to compete in one of their shows. Some questions. I was going to talk more about the show anyway, but
everyone just wants to know about the drama now. You really put the cat amongst the pigeons, haven't you?
Give us a good.
Okay, Jamie, a bit of light relief. I've also pressed Uncle Loz's button. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jamie.
Oh dear.
So I'm going to go more about the competition. You know, if anyone's got any questions they want to ask, then please
I'll
feel
keep
free.
an eye on this. Do you?
So the deadlift was won by Ivan Makarov. I thought that Pavlo would probably take the deadlift, and I thought that Pavlo would try and focus on winning the overall contest. So Pavlo decided to go for 455 and skip 470, going straight for the 505. But I have to say, watching his 450 or 1,000-pound lift, I didn't see him pulling 505. It wasn't moving as fast as it needed to, whereas even pulled 425 and skipped the 455 to try and win the competition first. And he pulled 475 really well. You know, and beforehand, I'm the first to kind of put my hand up and say if I was wrong. He was the best deadlifter without question, deserved the win. But then you've got 6 guys tying with 1,000 pounds.
Unbelievable.
It's just mental.
Yeah.
Absolutely really mental. I said it many times, but I remember
2019, that weight won the No, did it win the competition?
Yes,
it did.
2019
2 years ago.
We had Rauno Heinler and Jerry Pritchard both tying for first place with 1,000 pounds. I remember watching a super series when I was kind of first getting into sport, watching Zydrunas win the max deadlift with 360 kilos.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
You know, that's how far the sport has come in the time that I've been involved in strongman. It's just crazy.
Here we go then. Super chat. Thank you very much. Is that Rachel? Rachel. Yeah. Thoughts on Giants disrespecting Thor so much? I knew this was going to come up. I have my thoughts.
Go on.
I think so. For anyone who isn't aware, but I'm sure you all are if you're here now, it's because they explained their reason for considering Eddie's to still be the world record because Thor's was done outside of competition. The thing is, there is nothing anywhere that says what are the standards that mean this lift is a world record. Like, what are the actual rules for a world record? Until we have that in writing somewhere, it's still just opinions, and we all have different opinions, don't we?
Yeah,
it's, you know,
I don't think you can ignore the fact that Thor pulled 501.
No, he has lifted more than anyone in the deadlift.
And I guess that, I mean, if they could have just done 502 if they wanted to at the comp, I still don't think 3 kilos would have made any difference in terms of anyone getting it. But the way Giants Live explained it is that Eddie's lift is the competition record, and Thor's lift is the Guinness World Record in terms of the most weight lifted. I don't want to get involved in that stuff. I'll just go on whoever lifted the most.
Do you know, we were desperate for someone to break the world record to put this all to bed. But until it happens, we have to keep going on and on. It's tiring, isn't it?
The fact is, you have to give both of them a tremendous amount of credit, because, I mean, you've got to give Eddie, I think you give Eddie the most credit, because Eddie was the one that took it up so far.
Yeah, and he broke the barrier.
And Eddie was the one that made the rest of the guys feel this is possible. So, and I think, you know, he's always going to be the first guy that did 500 kilos. No one can ever take that away from him. Thor pulling 501 was meant to happen in competition. It was due to the pandemic that it couldn't happen. And then the guys from WUS set up the Feats of Strength series, and Thor did his 501, knowing that he wanted to retire from Strongman. And we all know about the boxing that's kind of, you know, never ending.
It was such a unique situation, though, wasn't it? Like, imagine 2 years ago we'd say, oh, we're all going to be in lockdown. We'd be like, what on earth are you talking about? Like, what the hell is a lockdown?
It's been a very, very strange situation. I'm glad now we're back to full competitions.
Yeah.
That's what I was excited about with this contest yesterday, seeing all these amazing lifters on the same bar on the same night. That for me was exciting, and that's why I loved it so much, because we had so many great lifts going on. I mean, I was just watching it from the side, and just the way they all, I mean, we watched the warm-ups beforehand. We got a bit of video footage of the warm-ups, and the guys just look so strong.
Yeah.
And when you see every single lifter pull 400, that's just mental. Then to see every lifter pull 425 kilos.
Insane.
Just 425 kilos wins most contests. You know, there's a couple of other guys you could put, like a JF Caron, maybe Jerry Pritchett, but and obviously a couple of guys that should have been here that couldn't get there due to visas or injuries. But in terms of guys that have done 1,000 pounds in competition, there really wasn't. There's 7 before this contest. It's mental.
A few people have asked what happened to Gav after the Stones, or did Gav give birth to an Atlas Stone? I don't know what that's referencing. If someone can enlighten me, do you know what they're talking about?
I guess they're talking about his belly, but like Gav's a big, strong guy, big, huge guy. You know, I think he's got a lot of stick for the size of his belly, but he's, you know, massive guy. I think he's the biggest guy that's ever competed at World's Strongest Man. An athlete that's getting better and better.
Oh, apparently Gav ran off after the Stones and skipped the interview.
I don't know why.
Maybe he needed a poo.
It's possible.
It happens, doesn't it?
I can't answer that, because I don't know. You know, I was kind of concentrating on watching the next people that went.
We'll ask him and let you guys know next time if it's something that he's happy to share. Forswell, thank you. Is Novikov trying to put on weight? He's starting to remind me of when Bish started putting on weight. More weight worked for Bish, but I don't know if it will for him, and maybe that's his dip in form. But I think his dip in form.
He's had any dip in form.
He's had a niggle as well, hasn't he? He's got a small.
Yeah, but people say he's having a dip in form. He just won a Giants Live and he came 3rd in the next one.
Yeah,
and he's got a bit of a niggle.
Yeah.
So, you know, right now we're going to see contest after contest after contest, and every single contest is going to have different results.
Yeah.
Because of the events, because of the athletes that compete a little bit too much will start to fatigue. It's why guys like the Stoltmans pulled out of this one.
He competed just 2 weeks ago as well.
Yeah.
We can't forget, can we? Do you feel ready to compete again?
Hell no. It's going to be a weird few months, because there's so many shows happening. And so many of these guys are, you know, down to do so many of them. They're going to be last minute pullouts.
Yeah.
There's going to be changes. Athletes that are kind of on the fringe of getting there, make sure you're ready. Andy Black took this opportunity on 2 days' notice.
Yeah.
Now, that's not uncommon in Strongman. You know, I've done that before in the past. I've seen other guys that have done it. You've just got to be ready to take it. You know, a lot of guys, they think, I need 12 weeks to prep, and obviously that's ideal if you get plenty of time to prep for a show. But sometimes you just got to step up, take that opportunity, put on a show. Andy performed brilliantly.
Andy was great, and he was so nervous beforehand. Like,
oh man, he was nervous.
Bless him. Spat Boy, thank you. Where do you keep all of your trophies? Love from Portugal.
We have a couple in the house. You can see a few behind us here.
There's 3 here, 2
4.
golds. Oh, sorry, yeah, I can't count. 2 golds, a silver, and a bronze here.
But most of my trophies are at my mum's, actually. She tends to keep most of them.
It's your Europe's Strongest Man one.
Yeah, there we go.
From 2016. It's really funny if you've ever seen videos at Thor's gym. He's got all of his gold ones and then a silver smack bang in the middle. Here's the gold. We look after that little guy.
I did tease him for that.
That one gets polished the most.
Who are the 7 guys to pull 1,000 before yesterday? So we've got Eddie Hall, Thor Bjornsson, Rauno Heinler.
Thor's count if it wasn't in competition.
Jerry Pritchett.
Yeah.
JF? No, JF has not. Makarov has pulled over 1,000 before. There's, I think, Brian Shaw. Brian Shaw did it on the bar, the slightly thicker bar that they used at World's Strongest Man in 2017. Was it 17? Yes, I think it was 2017.
Testing your knowledge now. You and Terry came up with this between you, didn't you?
Well, me, Terry, Eddie, and Colin were trying to think, but then there may be a couple of others as well. But to see 7 in one night, Benny, that's the other one. There you go.
Yeah,
Benny.
Of course it was Benny.
Yeah, and Andy Bolton.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
So,
yeah.
Has Paul Smith upset Brycey? No, Paul Smith is going to get his opportunity. I kind of answered this on an Instagram video the other day. Paul Smith is a tremendous strongman, as are plenty of others that are waiting for that opportunity. Now, when someone like Andy gets an opportunity, it's not for us to criticize Andy to get that opportunity.
No, of course not.
Now, there's plenty of other guys that deserve opportunities, whether it's Paul, whether it's a whole host of other guys that are on that cusp. You've just got to be ready for that opportunity. And also, you as an athlete need to make yourself seen and make yourself heard.
Which Andy has done. Andy has been sliding into Giants Live's DMs all over the place. He's a little tough.
Yeah, he is. He puts himself out there.
But he makes jokes. He's very entertaining.
And then he's backed up some of his performances. He's had some great performances. He's got this opportunity and he performed.
Yeah, he did.
Now, Paul Smith is going to get his opportunity. Paul Smith will be invited to Britain's Strongest Man. You cannot ignore Paul Smith at Britain's Strongest Man. He's going to hopefully get that opportunity. And if Paul Smith goes there and, you know, really performs, really gets people noticing him, that, you know, he'll get his opportunity. The one thing with someone like Andy and even Gav and Brian Shaw and Thor, and, you know, they're just freaks of nature.
Yeah.
Which comes across well in terms of promotion.
Well, and you've got to think, what are the promoters' priorities? It's putting bums in seats and selling tickets, isn't it? And people might think that's wrong. It should be about
the thing with Strongman, it's not just sport.
No.
It's sport and entertainment.
It's a bit of a
trying
weird
to combine
hybrid.
the both together. It took me a long time to realize this. I was always an athlete that just wanted to go to a show and win.
Yeah.
And I've won plenty of shows and no one knew who I was. You know, it wasn't until I tried to, well, I had a long career eventually, and, you know, but kind of creating the Uncle Loz character has probably got me more of a following than I had as an athlete.
Yeah.
And guys like Eddie were really smart with this, and Brian Shaw's really good at it now. Robert Oberst is probably one of the best at it. You know, you create that persona and you kind of bring more fans into the sport. Now, if you're bringing more fans into the sport and you're bringing more money into the sport, then a promoter is going to say, yes, we want this guy at a show. If you're really, really good, but all you do is just come and win and then go away, and you're not trying to bring fans into it and you're not trying to give back, then they're not going to give you as many opportunities. So that's probably a bit of advice for any of the guys that are really good but feel they're being overlooked. Try and think from that business side of things as well. Because if you are going to start bringing more people to view the shows, if you're going to, you know, get more money into the sport, then promoters are going to want to use you. It's as simple as that. And it's a hard fact, and it's upsetting for a lot of people, but this isn't an Olympic sport.
It's not necessarily fair, is it?
It's not fair. It's not, you know, it's when I kind of say, you know, you can't knock the 25 guys that go to Worlds, but there's still at least 100 guys that are good enough that, you know, want that opportunity. And for those guys, I'd say make yourself known. You know, you've got platforms now. When I started, we didn't have social media.
And social media has changed things a lot.
It's changed the game completely. You know, we have proper fans. You guys watching come to events, you can buy Stoltman, you know, merchandise or ours or whatever it might be, and you're supporting the sport, which is huge. It's starting to change the way it was. I mean, when I won my first Britain's Strongest Man, I think I got about $1,000. You know, now it's a lot more than that. I think they're getting like 10,000 if they win Britain's Strongest Man, and some shows paying a lot more. I've done international shows and just, you know, been given a few drinks at the end of it, and you know, a night out.
Sponsor pulled out the prize money.
It's now it's moving to a much more professional level. We can be a lot more transparent, and you guys are getting to see what's happening a lot easier. And there's still improvements needed.
It still needs more transparency. I mean, someone said here, I hear what you're saying, Lars, but if Strongman is ever going to transition from a sideshow to a real sport, it needs to change.
It's not trying to become a real sport. That's the problem. I think, you know, some people out there are like, why don't we get Strongman in the Olympics? We just had the Olympics. So people are like, we need to get Strongman in the Olympics. It's never going to be in the Olympics. No. Strongman has to go down the entertainment side. If athletes are going to be able to make a living, it's extremely hard to make Strongman a real sport in terms of like football or American football or tennis and stuff like that. It's freak shows. You know, now that doesn't mean you can't have amazingly talented athletes, and I certainly believe we can have under 105s, under 90s, females. You know, you can have all these different classes, and if they start excuse me, if we start seeing more personalities out of them, and they start attracting more people into the sport, it's going to get, I called it a sport. It is a sport, but it's sport and entertainment. It's where I tried to treat it just like a sport for a long, long time, and it didn't help me. It was the real first guy that saw Strongman and was like, right, I'm going to treat this as a sport, but as a business as well, was Eddie Hall. Eddie had a vision of how he wanted himself to be seen. He created a character. Obviously, he worked damn hard to do what he could do and be the best athlete he could be, but he was trying to build a brand at the same time. And he, along with guys like Brian Shaw, a number of others, have brought a lot more fans to watching what we do now. Whereas back 10 years ago, no one was watching Strongman. So if we just go to the just sport route, it's going to struggle. You need both. You need more and more people coming into it at grassroots levels. You know, when I started again, and I can go back 20 years, you asked the journalists, go back 30 years, there was no companies involved in Strongman. Now we've got lots of companies like Rogue involved, Cerberus, you know, there's loads.
And that's consistent sponsorship from those guys as well. It's not like they're around for a year, you know, and then they disappear.
These companies now are sticking into the sport because there is more people watching. So it's
gradual, small changes that the fans might not always see, but the people involved, we do see it, don't we? It's some of it's frustrating, the lack of transparency with certain things. How, you know, we know that Giants Live is the qualifier. We don't know like the process for the other athlete selection. We'd like to see more people from around different parts of the world.
I do think we need some kind of governing body, whether it's just something that protects the athletes, you know, like
isn't that what IFSA was though?
No, IFSA. But the problem is, with IFSA, they were just, you know, the problem is we've got about 6, 7, 8 different companies that all do their own thing. And I've said this before with rules and stuff like that. We need something that everyone abides by. To have legitimate records and all these things. Anyway, enough of that boring stuff.
Depth of devotion. Thank you. I think Pablo should have won events 1, 2, and Stones. Viking Press was also too narrow, making it unfair. He's a monster and future world's strongest man, in my opinion. Is the Viking Press too narrow for the big guys?
There's a few. I'd say that Gav Bilton is wider than Pablo, and he coped with it pretty well.
Pablo is more triangular. I think it's accentuated more, but he's not actually wider than him. It's just an optical illusion.
The Viking Press is a weird event. It actually suits the taller guys.
Yeah, you said that to me and I was surprised. So explain it to me like you to other people like you did to me.
The Viking Press, depending on the pivot point, will change in terms of weight. So if you think the pivot point is here, for a shorter guy like Novikov, he's starting here. For a taller guy like, Andy Black or Gav Bilton, he's starting here. So then he's just pushing backwards. Whereas the shorter guy has to go past the pivot point and push backwards. So it changes the point that you're lifting from.
Where the weight kicks in.
Yeah, and it's not a huge change, but it's enough to make a difference. Whereas with a log or an axle, every athlete lifts the exact same weight.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really say it was a disadvantage for Pavlo. He's one of the taller guys in there. It is a little bit narrow, but
it's quite different. Eddie Hall
was ridiculously wide and extremely good at the Viking press. So, and also every Viking press is different. So what you see someone doing training doesn't mean anything when they're all lifting then on the same Viking press. It's a bit like a leg press. If anyone's used leg presses in different gyms, they all feel a bit different. You can do one leg press with 400 kilos and it's really hard. You can do another leg press with 1,000 kilos and it's easy. And literally there can be that kind of difference in, the weights that you use. Whereas with a squat, it always feels the same. So it's the same weight for everyone. So there's just certain lifts that there is a little bit of variation in terms of the amount of weight that people lift.
Yeah. What else are people asking and talking about? Loz needs his own event. People think you should have your own competition, Loz.
Maybe one day. That's something we may well look into.
Yeah. We want things properly back to normal first, wouldn't we? Because we've seen the pain that promoters have been going
right now, putting on shows. I really feel for promoters. It's a very, very difficult job to do.
Ever changing, and the whole travel situation.
Rules changing all the time. Athletes dealing with different things. I mean, there's so much coming on. We've got Don Idris coming on. I think he's coming on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Talking about the changes they've had to have with bringing the World Ultimate Strongman from Florida. They're moving it to Dubai so they can have their team work on it. I know the Giants Live guys have had a number of issues, whether it's getting athletes in from different countries. It's been really, really difficult to put these shows on this year, but things are improving. We've got the Shore Classic coming up. We've got Europe's Strongest Man. What's after Europe? There's the Glasgow show. We've got Worse. There's literally so many shows.
Britain's Strongest Man, Rogue Invitational, Arnold UK.
We've got the return of Kiliashkovsky, the return of Lissis.
Zadrunas
is coming back. The GOAT himself, he's coming back and looking strong, hitting 190 kilos in training on the log.
It's an exciting time. You think those guys coming back, and I'm thinking more Martins, Kiliashkovsky, but then the new talent coming through also.
I think the Shore Classic is going to be an amazing show.
Yeah, I think so.
That's going to be exciting. There's a lot of good guys doing that with 8 events to battle over as well. That's a lot of events.
Yeah. So. People were saying about the official Strongman website crashing.
I didn't watch it, so obviously I was there watching live. I haven't had a chance to watch it back. Some people I've heard from. I watched my Block Strongest Man. He watched it live and said a couple of times things froze, but it was nothing worse than that.
It seems people have had very vastly different experiences, which is a real shame. And I don't know if it was an issue with the venue. And I don't know.
I know the Royal Albert Hall stream was perfect, brilliant
from what we heard. Yeah.
So hopefully that's sorted for next time.
Yeah. People also asked about attendance numbers, saying it looked a little bit sparse. What you need to understand, that arena is the second largest in the whole of Europe. It is humongous.
It still was a bit down.
It was 7,000.
Slightly less.
According to Colin. I don't know. That's like add an inch or whatever.
I think it was more like 5,000.
Okay.
But it's probably less than they would have liked. There's less people. I think
not everyone's comfortable.
Yeah, some people are still worried about going out. And if you're someone that's worried, then stay home. I'm not that kind of person. I like to get out there and live my life. And, I love being there in front of, people, socializing. If you can call me irresponsible, if you want, it's my life. I want to live it how I want to live it. But if you want to stay home, then I understand that. But I think most people are starting to kind of want to do more now.
For those not in the UK right now, most of our restrictions are now gone. So like masks and that kind of stuff, which we've had for a whole year, that sort of rule.
It's been a long time.
But I think for a lot of people, it's been a gradual change rather than a bin the mask and that kind of thing. People are sort of slowly starting to adjust it, but it's different for everyone. Everyone has a different experience and circumstance, and no judgment from us. Is there, Laurence?
No, not at all. No.
No. Heidi Farrington, hi Heidi, you couldn't log on at all. That's
annoying.
terrible.
Yeah.
And people were saying that, lack of payment offer options. There is obviously, if you know,
we were speaking to Colin, weren't we? Because he wants us to work on a few things to try and improve the live stream. Perhaps have like a pre-show show with me and Liz. So if that would be something you guys would be interested in, let Colin know, let us know.
Yeah, always badger Colin.
Poor Colin.
But yeah, no, he wants a way to make the live stream as good as possible. I know he'll be absolutely devastated that there were issues with it. He wants to make it as good as humanly possible. He wants lots of added extras and bonuses for the people that do support the show and pay for the live stream. He wants to make sure you've got even more than what you'd see on the TV from the sort of polished, edited version. Is that Grady? Thank you so much. How was it breaking the world record on the Dinny stones?
Yeah, it was pretty damn good.
It was amazing. Honestly, it was such a special moment. Like,
it was.
Genuinely no intention. He found out on the Friday, they were like, oh, by the way, we've booked you in to lift the Dinnies, because you can't just turn up and do this. They're kept under lock and key. They're very well protected. And you know, the rules are quite strict. It has to be certain people there. So, you know.
So you have to have official judges there.
Yeah.
That,
verified judges. You
yeah,
had four or
four
five
of them.
there, yeah.
Four of them.
Yeah.
4 of the official judges. So yeah. No, it was amazing. And to be honest, it was just the whole atmosphere.
It was. They're such lovely people.
I went there and I knew I could lift it. I was like, I'm a world-class strongman. I can lift this.
Yeah, you're going
to
lift these things. Yeah.
I was confident I could do that. So I lifted it and it felt, I was like, okay, this isn't too bad. I've always been good at farmers walk, moving type events with weights. And I thought, okay, I'm going to have a go at this. And my first attempt, what did I do? Just short of 10 foot.
Yeah, it was 9'5".
So that was actually the second or third furthest anyone's ever been in one go with them. And there's a guy there called Jack Shanks, who was the first man to take the stones across the bridge, which was kind of a very rare feat of strength.
In multiple pickups, we should point out.
Yeah, so he did it in multiple drops. And he was watching it. You know, he begged me basically to have another go. And I don't know, something lit inside me and I just felt fired up. Like I haven't felt like that since probably my prime when I was doing strongman. I was just like determined to do it. I kind of got myself psyched up, locked into them, picked them up. The first go sort of gave me a good idea of how I should hold them and how to walk with them. I went 14.1 foot, which was
14 foot 10 inches.
14 foot 10 inches, which is 3 foot further than the existing record, which was held by Brian Shaw. So some amazing. There's been some amazing lifters try this. I mean, I was talking to Bill Kazmar. He's done it.
Mark Felix has
Mark
had
Felix has done it. Nick Best, Eddie Hall, Robert Oberst. You know, loads of really strong guys have tried it. So I was very, very proud of the achievement. It was awesome having the family up there.
Yeah.
And just the people there watching, it was really cool.
It's just really cool when something like that happens completely unexpected. Like, it would have been different. It would have been a bit more tense and nervy had you gone there to do that and to break the record. But it was perfect. Gorilla Strong, thank you so much for the super chat. Uncle Loz, does Liz now make you carry all the groceries in one trip now? Congrats on the world. Do you know what? We're so lazy. We have all the shopping delivered to the house. It comes in trays. And usually I pick up the bloody trays and take them into the kitchen and he unloads them.
I carry them.
Yeah, sometimes you help.
I'm really good at carrying heavy stuff for a short distance. If I had to go around town carrying, I hate it.
Yeah.
I get like pass bags from one hand to the other.
And I think actually I think you'll always be better at the Dinnies than the nickels because of that, because the nickels are lighter. You've got to do it for much longer.
I'm better at
I think really heavy, but for less time than you are for that sort of endurance.
I think I could have done a lot better on the nickels if I hadn't done the Dinnies the day before, but I still did all right on them.
Yeah.
It was pretty good distance.
Simon Wilson, thank you so much for the super chat. Watched the Giants live stream. It froze a bit, but it was okay. Loved it. I'm in suspense about the drama. Oh man, you shouldn't have said anything.
Shall I say something?
I don't know. I'm anxious to talk about it, Lozzie.
Well, I didn't see what happened, but Liz did.
I'm a fucking eyewitness. Oh, sorry. Excuse my friend.
Don't swear.
I'm sorry. I'm nervous.
I'm going to say something because this is something that Giants Live team put on an amazing show. And firstly, there was a number of things that happened this weekend, which for me as an athlete or an ex-athlete was very disappointing. There's a lot of people that work on the Giants Live shows that, you know, they do. A lot of these guys do it for free. They dedicate their time to it. They're an amazing team. There's a lot of girls that work on this show that they'll get
athlete
anything the
liaisons.
athletes want. You know, they try and work their backsides off to make sure everything runs as smoothly as possible. I've said this a few times before, but the Giants Live team have pretty much been the same team. They've got like new people come on, but they're a very well run, oiled machine.
Yeah.
The guys that get the events in and out really quickly. I mean, the whole shows are done in 4 hours, which is amazing for a live show. And the girls that work behind the scenes to make sure the athletes have everything are really great people. They put a lot of hard work into it. And some of the athletes were just extremely rude to them, which is disappointing to hear because, you know, we're just guys that pick stuff up and put stuff down. I don't care how strong someone is. I care more about how people treat people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I heard a few things and I saw a few things that were very disappointing. Then when you hear, you know, we as athletes, we want to try and make fans' experience as good as possible. So when you guys pay for VIP treatment, you want to be able to come and see the top guys. You want to be able to ask us questions, have photos. And a couple of the guys were just saying, no, they weren't going to go and do these kind of things, which is, again, really disappointing. Then there was an issue between Pavlo and
Novikov.
Alexei Novikov. Now, these guys obviously have some issue. That's
we
fine.
don't know.
I don't know the history. They're both from
is.
Ukraine. There is obviously some issue with the two of them. You're right there. Like.
No, I'm sweating bullets. Go on.
They didn't, you know, all the athletes when they come in, you normally get a fist bump, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Those two didn't fist bump. All right, you don't like each other. That's fine.
I am Heidi. Thanks.
Heidi can see the nerves in your face. You know, Eddie and Thor don't like each other. They're sorting out a fight in a ring. You know, they're sorting things out. There was an issue in the changing rooms after the Atlas Stones. Well, you saw it, but from what I've been told, Pavlo shoulder barges past Novikov. Novikov turns around and says something. Then Pavlo starts swinging at him, punching him in the face. There's a lot of ladies in this room. There was children in this room.
There weren't children. I was the only child in that room.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
The other athletes were in there. You know, there was a number of people in there. Thank God. Evan Singleton
is a hero. So for anyone who doesn't like Evan, he is a hero. He had his back to Pavlo and he must have eyes in the back of his head because he turned on his heel and grabbed him in their arm lock. But it took 3 people to get him to stop.
Including the likes of Mark Felix.
I was shaking. It was the most disturbing and upsetting thing I've ever seen at a strongman competition.
I mean,
I could have cried. It was
from my point of view. My wife's there. I don't expect her to be put into a situation that's dangerous. No. If me as a strongman, if I swing and my arm hits a woman, she's going to be knocked out. Yeah. He wasn't looking. He didn't care who was around him. He was just trying to swing.
About 4 women in close proximity.
You know, now I don't know the history between these two.
No.
There's obviously some beef there, but you do not do that at a pro show. It's just not acceptable. I've been in this sport for nearly 20 years. I've never seen that happen. I've seen people argue. I've seen, you know, you've got alpha males that want to win and that, you know, things get heated, but you don't go around acting like a damn animal. And it's extremely disappointing for me because I was looking forward to seeing this guy. And this guy is a tremendously strong athlete. He could well have ruined his career by doing that. Yeah. And the only reason I'm saying this now is because if anyone is watching and they want to get involved in strongman, do not act like a damn fool. You know, you can respect people. You want to win, that's great. You want to be the strongest man on the planet, that's brilliant. But treat these people well that are trying to give you these opportunities because they're very few and far between. It's a small knit community. Most of the strongmen get on very, very well. You know, we see the same faces at shows all the time. It was just a disappointing thing to happen.
That room is the chill room as well. That's where we all go and exhale and just have a moment. You know, it's usually a really sort of just calm and happy place. And
so it was a disappointing end to an amazing weekend.
Yeah.
You know,
someone asked if it's on video. It's not on video.
It's not on video.
No one was recording because people were literally just getting their tacky off after the Stones. I was chatting to Andy Black. Lots of witnesses, lots of people. Mark Felix, the absolute hero, tried to pull him off as well. Lots of heroes in strongman, lots of really good people, and hopefully this can be resolved between the two of them and put to bed. I think Novikov's going to be putting something out about it because It was quite funny. I went over to Novikov sort of 10 minutes later and I was like, are you okay? You know, and I said to him, obviously there's Novikov's English has come on really well, but I said, if you need any help describing or whatever, I'm more than happy to help. And he was like, oh, and I had my camera in my hands. And he said, can I talk on camera? I was like, yeah, of course you can. This will be a great exclusive. So we went somewhere quiet. And then he was like, oh, no, sorry. You talk on camera. And then he gets his phone out and interviews me in the warehouse, which was, not my best interview. I was a little bit on the spot.
It was just a very disappointing thing
very
to
shaken,
see.
Yeah.
You know, as someone like myself who's been involved in the sport so long, I don't want to see that.
No,
you know?
and I care about every person in that room. To see one of them get
the thing
hurt,
is, you have your family backstage. You know, Stoltmans have their partners backstage. Most of the guys have their partners backstage. If that guy swung and hit one of them, they could potentially be dead. This guy is not like some small guy. He's one of the biggest, strongest.
Someone asking if it connect. I've never heard punches so loud in my life. It was sickening. I could have thrown up. There was a lot of connection.
So it was just disappointing. And you know, if anyone is looking to get into this sport, that is not the way to act. You know, potentially Pavlo has ruined his strongman career. Yeah. He's an extremely talented young man, and he may never get the opportunity now to compete in these shows, to go to World's Strongest Man because of a stupid moment. And, you know, the rest of you, if anyone's watching that ever was going to act like that, which is very few and far between, just learn from it. The way you conduct yourself is important in these, you know, things. I hope he's a young lad. Hopefully he can grow up a bit and learn from this and get a second opportunity if they can sort things out. But it's just disappointing.
It was a real sort of bummer on the
Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the hero, Mr. Evan Singleton.
God bless him.
This guy just keeps getting better. I know he's like Marmite. Some people love him or hate him. I genuinely love him. I think
I've got a lot of time for him.
You know, backstage, he's hilarious. He very supportive of other guys, but he just wants it so much.
Yeah, he does.
And it was great to see him win.
Yeah. Simon Wilson, thank you, Simon. Here, respect is key. I've seen bad blood in martial arts and things boil over. Self-regulated. I hope Alexi is okay. Yeah.
Spoke to Alexi today, and he said he's okay.
I really hope the two of them, whatever the issue is, they can, you know, get together, sort of just talk it out, not bloody fight it out, and resolve their differences, because what a waste of talent that would be.
If you want
an incredible showing at his first Giants
fight,
Live.
Do what Thor and Eddie are doing. Do it in a boxing match.
No, don't talk. Just talk. Have a cup of tea and calm down.
There's just ways of doing these things.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be fighting.
No,
I hate violence. And yeah, I think they just need to sort it out, because it would be such a shame. The whole thing's such a huge shame.
Anyway, do we have any questions on anything else?
No, that's all people are going to be talking about. And I can't believe you're the one who broke the news, because now everyone's going to go, did you hear about that? Oh, God. And it was us. But, you know, I feel really bad for...
You needed a hug after it.
I did need a hug. I was shaking. Some people asked why we didn't hang around. One, Granny was having a problem with our youngest, so, you know, might have needed rescuing. But also, I just needed to go. It was... disturbed.
It was a shame, because it was such an amazing event, wasn't it? Such a good show. Really enjoyed watching it. Really, I mean, Bish was amazing.
Yeah, Bish was incredible.
I mean, you got the prediction right. I'll give you that.
Because I'm the prediction fairy.
We got a few things wrong. It's funny. I've seen people laughing at my predictions. I said we'd see the most amount of £1,000 pulls.
We'll go back and compare and see what we thought would happen and what actually happened. We've got lots of great videos
with a great £1,000 pull as well. It was, you know, so many great things that happened.
Yeah. Evan is a monster.
Grady Maloney, thank you for the super chat. Evan is a monster and is going to be a problem for everyone else. He absolutely is. He can definitely win World's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
He's already won 2 Giants Live shows.
He was ill at last Worlds, which was such a shame, because he
obviously got his injury the year before, and he was doing very well.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Is Thor versus Marius confirmed? I'm not sure that it's confirmed. You said it was, didn't you?
I'm pretty sure it's confirmed. We'll find out for certain on
Tuesday. We'll find out.
I'm an effing eyewitness, Liz. That could be the t-shirt. People want an Auntie Liz t-shirt. That could be it. I'm an effing eyewitness. And I don't want to be. I don't like the drama.
We just like enjoying the show.
Peace-loving person. Can imagine Liz going around the next strongman meet with the tea, totally, in case anything. I will. I'm going to have a thermos full of tea. And if
guys,
anything's looking a little
remember
bit
to
crazy,
like the channel, subscribe to the channel, just to calm Liz down.
this is how I'm pleased.
We're getting closer to 100,000 now, so if you guys can help us get there,
someone wants you to bounce those pecs. There you go. You do that sometimes, don't you?
Just occasionally.
Yeah, just to please me. Is there anything else to talk about?
We've talked about the
Liz,
deadlift.
delts pop in. Have I got delts? Which muscle is the delt? Is it that?
Yeah,
is that my trap?
That's your trap.
Is that my delt?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it popping?
Yeah. Don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just point it. It's just bone. If I'm honest, it's just bony. That must have been absolutely...
Blade Smith of the North. Thank you very much for the super chat.
That must have been absolutely horrifying. Pablo is a humongous man. I cannot imagine the damage. Yeah. A lethal weapon. I stayed well back. You feel very helpless when you're 60-something kilos in a situation like that. And there's absolutely nothing you can do other than scream at them, stop it, which is exactly what I did.
I can imagine you.
I did. I was like, oh my God, stop it. But I'm such a girl. I really am. I just can't cope.
When are we visiting the Stoltmans next?
Do you know what? Those boys are so damn busy.
Yeah, they're busy boys. So we don't want to take up too much of their time right now. When things kind of calm down, I mean, we'll probably head back up to Scotland maybe later in the year.
Yeah, possibly, or definitely
early next year.
Yeah.
Any stones in the garden to become the Loz Stones? No.
What would Loz have done if he was there?
Oh, I would have been in the between.
I know you would have. You can't help yourself.
The Uncle Loz Authority. Me and Mark Felix, we get some respect.
Imagine if someone had punched you or Mark.
Oh,
it would have been Murder, She Wrote. It would have been like Cluedo. It was in the toilet with a wrist strap. Oh my goodness.
Anyway, we'll focus on the positives.
Yeah. It was an amazing show by Giants Live again. It's a shame that the stream did not always portray that, but we will make sure that they have that feedback.
The stream is going to get better and better. I know that's something they want to push.
Yeah.
They've spoken to us about being a part of it, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys have any ideas and things that you'd like to see, like a pre-show event that maybe we do interviews with athletes and analysis and things like that. But yeah, there's lots of talk about making the streaming much better. I think eventually it'll go to that kind of platform away from TV. It's the way
the world's going. I think they'd be better off looking to try and sell it to something like Netflix, and then we could have that all year round. I think that's definitely what I'd look into. But what do I know? I'm not a TV producer. Games Freaks Play. Thank you for the super chat. Will Pablo have any repercussions? That's Giants Live's decision to make.
There's going to be things looked into, and a decision will be made. But it's not for us to say.
No, honestly, I want no more involvement. I feel horrible that this is.
It's just a shame.
This video.
You kind of had to see it, and it did shake Liz up. To be honest, she was
like a leaf.
Very, very upset. Not just you. A lot of people were.
Yeah.
So it's it's just disappointing. That's all I can say.
Is that why it wasn't a full podium for the deadlift? They said it would be, possibly.
No, Simon. The reason the deadlift, you had literally 6 guys tie for second place.
Of course you did.
They just did.
To bring half the
they just did the winner.
Yeah, that makes sense. What happened to Gav Bilton after the
I've seen a few comments about this. I don't actually know.
We don't know. He ran off. He might have needed the loo. We honestly do not know. But he was
saw him
fine
in the evening.
Afterwards.
He was absolutely fine. He was pleased with his performance. Gav's getting better and better. I genuinely don't know. I was just watching the next guys go because he was in the first heat, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was with Andy. Yeah. You guys should promote your own merch more, Spat Boy. Do you know why we don't? Because Uncle Loz's sweatshop is a one-woman operation, and that woman is me. And I'm also single-handedly run the YouTube channel. So it's like, oh no, we've had another t-shirt order.
We would, if hopefully we can kind of start pushing that side of things
we will.
And if you want to see an Auntie Liz top, let us know, because
it's going to say I was an effing witness. / Auntie Liz.
Thank you very much for the super chat. Have you guys got? We'll do 10 more minutes.
Yeah. We'll do 10 more minutes.
Questions, then fire them away.
Yeah.
We'll try and avoid the Pavlov.
Try and avoid that. Let's try and end on a positive note. Time for Loz.
When is Loz coming to the US? As soon as we can get to the US
Yeah.
easily. we will be there. Liz and myself really want to get to the States. There's lots of people we want to collab with in the States.
Yeah.
We'd love to be going to shows over there. Just right now, for anyone from Europe, it's very difficult to get to.
Yeah, you can't go to the USA, anywhere in the USA, if you've been in Europe within the last 14 days. So you have to go to a bridge country first, which is obviously extremely time consuming. You know, it's the whole thing's a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. But once that ban, I guess, is lifted, then we will be straight in.
Yes, to the Auntie Liz top. Yes. People want to see the Auntie Liz top.
Bladesmith of the North, thank you for the super chat. Time for Loz to head to the local river to find a new lifting stone to make legendary.
Yeah, gonna have to come up with the Loz stone.
The Loz stone. I think it's the Uncle Loz. We got to think of something better than that. What do you guys think about the Shore Classics? So excited for it.
We're going to be obviously bringing a lot of information about the Shore Classic. It's going to be an exciting one. 8 brilliant events, amazing list of athletes. It's going to be a hell of a show. It's just show after show right now, isn't it?
It is. It's constant. Like the next few weeks. So this coming weekend's UK Strongest Woman. Then it's the Shore Classic. Then the weekend after, it's Europe's Strongest Man. Then 1 or 2 weeks after that, it's
World Ultimate Strongman
and the Glasgow show that Giants Live are putting on. So
and then you've got the Rogue Invitational, you've got Britain's Strongest Man. It's just show after show.
Yeah, it's non-stop.
Busy for us. Lots of weekends away.
Someone asking if we're going to Glasgow. Do you know what? That's the only one we're not going to, because lots of committed.
There's the Arnold Classic, the Arnold UK as well.
Yeah, of course there is. Yeah.
No, that's the only Giants show I won't be at this year, because I'm going to be doing the commentary for the WUS show. So we'll be over in Dubai for that. But other than that, I'll be at both of us will be at all the Giants Live shows.
Try and keep us away.
Yeah.
Did the Stockman stop competing? No. They're both nursing small injuries. And there's so much coming up. They just
both of them have big. Both of them have big goals for Europe's Strongest Man. I know Tom wants to win Europe's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
Luke also wants to win Europe's Strongest Man, but also Luke wants to have a crack at the log world record, which will be happening at Europe's as well. So yeah, they're just being smart, understanding that their body can't compete week in, week out, and also particularly for Tom. He won World's Strongest Man, if anyone didn't know. We can't shout that out loud because it's not been aired in the UK yet.
I'm pretty sure our followers know.
I know, it's been stupid. But, he's got a lot of things that he's doing for sponsors, media kind of work, and it just takes away a little bit from your training. So he's got, he's also nursing a little bit of a hamstring issue, and just... you can't compete week in, week out in this sport anymore. I think Tom could have pulled 1,000 pounds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Healthy Tom, definitely. There was something in the water on Saturday night, wasn't there? Jesus.
I think I could have pulled 1,000 pounds.
I think I could have pulled 1,000. Like, get me on the bar.
Well,
I'm sorry. 1,000 grams.
Adam C. Manchester was my first time going to VVIP, and it was so worth it. Meeting everyone before and after the show was awesome, although I missed Alexi.
So for those that don't know, VVIP also gets you, so I think it gets you front row seats, and also you get to go to the athletes.
I really like the pre-show where we're kind of like sat on the sofa,
it's so chill,
chilling, chatting to people. It's quite nice.
It is nice. It's very relaxed, and
some of the athletes competing don't like it so much because they're trying to get ready for the show.
Yeah, they want to get warmed up.
Like myself and Terry were there, and Eddie was there, and you got Magnus Ver and Bill.
Athletes and the legends.
And we're just kind of like chilling out the back. It's great. Meeting everyone.
Are you guys going to attend the Rogue Invitational? I don't even know.
The Rogue Invitational is in America, so
no,
until things are better in America, we just can't get there. It's just very, it's like Payman wanting to get to the UK. That's what it's like for us now, trying to get to the States.
Grady Maloney, thank you for the super chat. Do you think Brian will get a 5th World's Strongest Man title?
He had a great effort this year to get that 5th title. I think it's getting harder and harder each year. But Brian really surprised me this year, and he looked sharp. You can never count him out. I think the percentage of him doing it is getting less and less. But
do you know what I think is really hard for Brian? Because we know it's event dependent, but the events that Brian's good at also really suit Tom.
Yeah.
And Tom absolutely thrives in that world situation where it's a slightly slower pace. He's got time in between events. It just works for Tom.
I think if Kilishkovsky's back to his best, if Lissis is back to his best, I think it's going to get harder and harder for Brian.
Yes.
And the improvement from, you know, some of these younger guys. Evan Singleton, he's going to be up there.
Yeah.
You know, he's getting better and better.
There's a whole, we might have Andy Black there as well.
There's just so many good guys. Brian is still one of the absolute best in the world, and I would never count him out. But it just gets harder and harder each year.
Yeah.
I mean, if he does it, he'll be the oldest guy ever to win. So
yeah, which would be
an amazing
incredible.
achievement.
Plus the second man to win 5 times.
Yep.
There we go. Should we round?
Let's quickly look at these.
Oh, okay. No, Lozzie's.
I'm just trying to answer some people's questions.
That's okay, dear. I know you're an attentive person. I need to go lie down in a darkened room.
Lots of Brian comments. And yeah, let's get those likes up. Thank you very much for supporting the page, liking the channel.
Did you miss your super chat being read? Oh, I don't know, John. Comment it again and I'll tell you.
You don't have to super chat, just comment. Terry right now by far the sexiest strongman. Well, former strongman.
But you know, we will let Terry know.
We'll make sure I think Terry knows it himself.
I know you're attentive, evil laugh into mug. Oh god, so many people saying they could hear me laughing on the stream. Do you know what? There was I swear they never normally have these floor mics. Usually there's not much noise coming from the floor like into the stream, so I thought it was safe.
Yeah.
But I was stood right bloody in front of one, wasn't I? And thanks to this channel, people recognise
Vicious
my voice.
Stones. Vicious Stones were awesome this weekend.
Vicious Stones were
Vicious performance was awesome.
Yeah,
I'll tell you a quick thing before we go. Like the front hold times weren't as good as people were expecting. The reason for that is they just did the Viking press.
Yeah,
so the shoulders and triceps were kind of pumped up already. So to go Viking press straight into the front hold is actually pretty tough.
Yeah. And
probably why some of the times were less than these guys have done in other shows.
Yeah. More tea, Liz. Do you know what? I'm on the coffee. That's how bad it's been. Oh dear. I don't see that guy I've been looking at. Oh, Sarah, thank you for the super chat, Sarah. Last night's show was amazing. I watched the live stream, felt like I was there. Love your videos, Uncle Loz 90.
Thank you so much, guys.
Every fan we met last night as well was just so lovely.
Lizzie, James is asking, did Pena impress you?
Oh, massively. Yeah, definitely. I spoke to him beforehand, the night before, and he really wanted a PB. He wanted what was it in the end? 4.72.5 or 4.75? Can we remember?
No, he did 4.5.
Yeah, but he wanted it. He wanted that as his PB in the show. But he was smart. He knew it wasn't there that night, and he did a great performance. People were asking about what happened to him on the Viking press. He just said that his hamstrings were so burning from doing the drag. And he needs to work on his conditioning.
It's a very fast-paced show, the Giants live shows.
Yeah.
World's Strongest Man is a very slow-paced show. The Giants live shows are extremely fast-paced. There's literally, normally they have that. The first event is the slowest event, which is the max lift normally. And then it's like, boom, we just get through the events really quickly. And you need that conditioning and understanding of that to really cope with it. But he performed brilliantly, really good, solid performance, and just such a lovely, lovely person.
Someone's just commented, this is the super chat you missed. Strongman 4 Nations games with Stoltman and others. Team events in pairs from each nation. Loz and Liz on commentary.
I would love to see that. That would be a brilliant idea.
Sorry we missed your super chat. Thank you so much for that person.
I think a show like that would be really cool. I'd like to see, with all the shows, some different types of shows.
They used to have ones like that, didn't they?
Yeah, Ultimate Strongman do sort of shows like that sometimes with... like a Scottish team, English team, Irish team, whatever it might be.
I'm thinking even further back. Didn't you, Terry, Ollie Thompson and people like that?
Yeah, we've done a few team comps out in Ukraine, actually. We used to do team comps. I really like the team comps. They're just a little bit more laid back and fun. And I think maybe putting a few of those into some of the arena shows would be quite a cool thing to do.
Yeah. Bronco chopped. Hi Bronco, thank you. Everyone push Loz's button, get those likes. Oh, bless you.
Thank you very much, Bronco.
It just conjures up the ugliest image when people say that though. Push your button. How is Marathon Man doing? He's done 41 so far, 41 in 41 days, so he's got 1 week left.
John Clark just doing amazing things to raise money and food for children that aren't getting fed.
Yeah.
This guy was 180 kilos.
Yeah.
He's now 100. I mean, he's probably less than 100 kilos now with the amount of marathons he's been doing.
Yeah.
But I think he's done 41 marathons in 41 days. He's got 48 to do. I mean, he's got 7 more to do.
Yeah.
48 in total.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts. He's in bits. He's just falling apart, I'm sure his knees, his ankles, everything are going to be messed up. But yeah, John Clark, go and follow him on Instagram. Give him some support. He's got a few more marathons left.
There you go. Right, now should we wrap it up?
We will wrap it up for the night. Thank you so much for coming on, guys. Always a pleasure to talk to you all. Hope you enjoyed the exclusive.
And, unbanned exclusive. Yeah. Hopefully we don't get banned.
Well, yeah.
We love you, Giants. No, we've got a behind the scenes coming tomorrow that does not include the fight.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you very much from me and Auntie Liz. She needs to lie down in a cold room or dark room.
Darkened room. Always a darkened room.
We'll speak to you guys soon. Take care.